So we had a TAC F letter that needed to be confirmed, and in the process, we opened up a number of exception reports to be filed with Northbrook and sent those back for AS400 integration. Or, I'm looking at the MTO and I noticed that the IID didn't match the PO or the BOL. Dude, what are you talking about? Earlier this week, I talked about some of the trail terms used in the backpacking and long-distance hiking community. Some of them are really funny and all have a level of interest to a person in that slice of the world. Hey YouTube, my name is Todd and welcome back to another installment of Faith Friday. Now, unless you worked with me in a support unit at Allstate Insurance or in the furniture industry I'm still in at the moment, you have little or no idea what I was just talking about. Now, I didn't do that to be mean or to confuse you, but really to make a point about what we as humans in general have a tendency to do every day. We ease into jargon related to work or hobbies like a sweet pair of house slippers, often without even noticing it, and those whom we're talking to or may hear us speaking have little to zero idea about what we're talking about or what we even mean by the terms we're using. I see it all the time. I hear it all the time, and well, unfortunately, it's coming out of my pie hole. I spend a lot of time speaking to students, both high school and college, and a common point I make to them is this: no squirrels. Yeah, I know, that's deep, right? There's this silly joke about it, a children's Bible class full of 4 and 5-year-olds. The teacher looks around the circle and says, okay, boys and girls, we're gonna start with a really simple question today. What's gray and lives in trees? Silence. Come on kids, you know this. It's gray, lives in trees, has a big bushy tail. Still nothing. The kids are all looking at each other as if to say, you answer it. No, you answer it. I ain't gonna answer it. Then the teacher, somewhat exasperated, says, seriously kids, it's gray, lives in trees, has a long bushy tail, eats nuts. Well, little Jimmy raises his hand to get his permission to speak, and the teacher calls on him, and he looks the teacher in the face and says, teacher, I know I'm supposed to say it's Jesus, but it sure sounds like a squirrel to me. The truth is, Jesus is the answer to so many of the questions that we face today. Questions of belonging, hopelessness, dismay, heartache, even victory and success, and most certainly, eternity. Christians have a tendency, though, to use terms we either don't know, or we use them incorrectly, or we simply don't believe. Another thing I try to drill into students is that if you really believe what you say you believe about anything, it makes a difference in what you do, how you act, and how you view life. So if I really believe what I say I believe about gravity, I don't take long walks off the tops of 10-story buildings. We've always had a rule in our house regarding words pertaining to my kids that said, if you can't spell it, you can't use it. This was always a source of amusement, particularly with my son. He would come in, would use some word he had just learned and barely knew the meaning to, if he knew it at all. Some $20 word. You know what I mean, right? And I'd reply, spell it. You can't use it if you can't spell it. And he'd try to spell it and butcher the whole thing, and we'd laugh about it. Then I'd find out if he really knew what something meant and how it should be used and why. Words have meanings. As a believer, I would tell you that Jesus is the answer to a multitude of questions. But sometimes the answer is just 7. This is another thing I like to do to kind of mess with the general population. When asked, hey, can I ask you a question? I'll answer really quick, 7. And then look a little bewildered that that's not the right answer. Then I'll apologize. It's really fun. You should try it sometimes. Unless you're a doctor or a mechanic, that may not end so well. The point is, knowing what you believe and why you believe it is so important, but it shouldn't paralyze you from talking about it. I see students and adults alike refuse to share anything about their faith out of fear that they're going to say the wrong thing, use the wrong technical terminology, or well, just flat out be rejected outright by whomever they're talking to. Just like my son loved to play with those $20 words to see what he could get past me, well, you need to use your words. The words you use to describe your experience with God, your deeply held belief. These don't have to be directly out of Strong's exhaustive concordance. We are each a unique creation of God, so it would hold true that while much of our interaction with Him is common to every person, there is some that is as unique as you are. You don't have to use $20 words or TLAs. TLAs are 3-letter acronyms. They're everywhere, particularly in the texting world our kids are so adept at. I gotta tell you, I marvel at how fast my son's thumb can move while the rest of him moves so slowly. It's truly amazing. What you need to do though is just be honest, be transparent, be real about what you're feeling and seeing God do in your life or in the lives of others you know firsthand. These truths, well, they're not debatable. They are your experiences. They're not fiction. So my question to you, my challenge, if you will, is this. Do you really believe what you say you believe? Now, how is that making a difference in your life each day? Is it making a difference in your life at all? Words have meaning. You need to use your own words properly, but honestly, sincerely, and not be afraid to do the math, have the answer be 7, or to call a squirrel, or share the love and hope you have from your relationship with Jesus Christ. Until next Friday, take a hike and love somebody along the way.